45. جزاكم الله خير. Chapter 45. باب من سب الدهر فقد آذى الله. Whoever curses time has, the translation says, has wronged Allah. The hadith or the verse وقول الله تعالى وقالوا ما هي إلا حياتنا الدنيا نموت ونحيا وما يهلكنا إلا الدهر. And they say, meaning the disbelievers, there is nothing but our life of this world. We die and we live, and nothing destroys us except ad-dahr, meaning the time, and they have no knowledge of it. They only conjecture. This title first, it says that whoever curses time, right? It is not permissible. It's a form of shirk. Because if a person believes that time is the doer and the creator and so on, this is definitely shirk. So whoever do that, he's committing a shirk. Why people curses time? Because of the bad effects that happens to them. Who is the one that is creator of all of these actions? Is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in reality, they are cursing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If they start cursing the time, it's a bad time because of this is happening to us, and they're protesting the qadar of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is something that is not permissible. And the disbelievers, they would say that with regarding to this life and in the hereafter, they did not believe in the hereafter. And the verse, of course, definitely affirms that the belief in the hereafter, it's part of the belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that the disbelievers, they refer things to the time. That the time as if it's the creator of things. As it's mentioned in the verse, وَمَا يُهْلِكُنَا إِلَّا الدَّهْرِ. That the only thing that destroys us is ad-dahr, is the time, is nature, is whatever there is. All of this is acts of kufr, of course, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator of all things. The hadith of Abi Hurairah radiallahu anhu, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, قال الله تعالى يؤذيني ابن آدم يسب الدهر وأنا الدهر أقلب الليل والنهار. And this was reported by Imam al-Bukhari. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, hadith Qudsi, the son of Adam wrongs me, for he curses ad-dahr, the time, though I am ad-dahr, meaning the time, in my hands are all things, and I cause the revolution of day and night. So this hadith shows, of course, the forbidden of cursing the dahr, and it shows that when people do that, they are basically cursing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that is the owner and the doer of the things that they are cursing the dahr for, that they're cursing the time for. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the owner of all things. And it shows that ad-dahr, the time, is creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It does not create in itself. And it shows that the human beings can cause not harm, but they wronged Allah. Al-adha here, they do not harm Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They cannot cause any harm to the creator of the heavens and the earth. But al-adha is different than ad-darar or the harm. It's wronging. No, go ahead. Okay.
بعض الناس يقولون يعني الله الوقت يعني الظهر أو يعني he is time.
No, the hadith. No, the hadith is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, as the hadith mentioned, that the dahr is used to curse Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the dahr, as it's mentioned in the hadith here. That means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that runs the affairs of people. The dahr, as far as the time is concerned, is a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No, it's a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But what is meant is that the one that they curse really is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because they curse the dahr. Why? The time, because it causes harm to them, because of the qadr, the destiny of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And again, the other here, you might, and this is to the human being, okay, it's nothing to do with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but to make it closer to our minds, a person might, other can afflict you, but not harm. Other meaning, person can wrong you, say something to you, bad. That doesn't harm you necessarily physically, right? But this is called adha, right? As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to the companions radiallahu anhum and those who follow them about the disbelievers, لَا يَضُرُّكُمْ إِلَّا أَذَى. They won't harm you except by adha. Sometimes, for example, it bothers you, but it's not harming you, right? A loud noise might bother you, but it's not harming you. And of course, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best example. The point is that it brings the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it states that this is adha is there, but not causing any harm to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most perfect. Let me say this, and if somebody has a question. In another version, wherein it is said, لا تسبوا الدهر فإن الله هو الدهر, do not abuse the dahr, for Allah is the dahr. Right? So that means is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that is owner of all things, and a person should not as a result curse the dahr. And again, of course, that negates the perfection of the Tawheed. Next chapter.